Welcome to Coach Hayes Football Live. He can talk about anything from high school to the pros. This guy knows the game, so you better not be half-stepping.
I can guarantee you most of the audience is going to agree with me before they agree with you.
Strap in, because Coach Hayes is about to
crack your cranium and fertilize your brain.
Go ahead and
right here, right now.
subscribe now and check out CoachHayesFootball.com.
What's up, everybody, man? We back for episode 3 of Primetime Talk. Let me know everything looks good, sounds good, and we definitely going to get this thing rocking and rolling. I appreciate you all stopping by. This 3 days in a row. I think I'm starting to like this. Tuesday, we had the Coach Me Coach podcast. Wednesday, we partied out. If y'all joined us, man, I appreciate it. We partied out, man, for the 3rd year anniversary of this channel, so we really enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much. And I'm working on a new intro for this show. That's an old intro. I put it in there just to have a little buffer. But anyway, and today we on Primetime Talk, man. So we got a lot going on, and we got a little bit of time to talk about it. We do about an hour on this show right here. So, like I said, we'll go to about 9 o'clock. And the news is Coach Prime has now given out his first jersey number. Everybody know he blanked them boys out, and he let them know, look here, man, you got to earn it. Ain't nothing given to you. You have to earn it. And we did a show talking about that a couple of days or weeks back or whatever the case may be. And we're going to talk about it. Like I said, I open up the phone lines. I love talking to the team. And speaking of the team, if you want to join, all you got to do is hit the subscribe button. It's free. All you got to do is come join the team. Coach Hayes and the team, we have a good time. We got a lot of new and good things going on here on this channel. Year 3, and we're going to start off something good. Also, just a little news. I've actually I'm almost finished editing the Aaron Nolan WRE. So for those that are new to the channel, that's kind of the flagship or the staple of this channel was where I broke down the top talent in the nation. We back at it now, class of 24. And I'm doing Aaron Nolan. He's supposed to do his commitment on Saturday, I believe at 8:30 or 8:45, something like that. And we're breaking him down. And if you were there last night, you know Coach Hayes has started there. We have started our own ranking system. And we're not using stars, we're using chips, baby. Are you a blue chip athlete? Are you a gold chip athlete, a silver chip, or a bronze chip? So you have to stay tuned to find out. That comes in the end. Well, I typically do my pros and cons. So y'all stay tuned for that as well. Let me give a couple shout outs, let a few more people fall in the building. We'll definitely make it happen. Gemini in the building, as always, say he earned it. Next should be an O-line player. That's interesting you bring that up because that's part of one of the questions I want to ask. Jimmy Jam, the question is, will it be a new great tradition, or will it start to turn players off and implode? That's a very interesting point. I'm glad you brought that up. Kenneth Tom, come on, man. Don't be tough on old coach, man. Why you gonna clean out my locker, man? Why you gonna clean out my locker? Coach not on time, man. Always on time. All right. And D from Duval, what's up with you, baby? How you doing? Club Shay in the building. I know I love when the ladies come on. I love when the ladies talk. And the ladies love Prime. I need the ladies to love Coach Hayes, man. Y'all call in and talk to us. I have to be very honest, since we've done a lot of this talk, we've gotten a lot of female viewership. Our percentage has gone up from 2% to 13%, believe that or not. So the Prime effect is not only for players and fans of the male species, but of the female species. I mean, my man, Coach Prime, doing it. All right, here we go. Hey, Joe, excuse me. Good evening, Coach Hayes. And let me see here. Uh-oh, we got the Google man in the building. What's up with you, Courtney Joe? Appreciate you, man. Omega Red and salute, Coach. What's up with you? And here we go. Courtney Joe says, I heard you had my boy Michael Irvin only intro. I was a Kane fan first, but he used to wear the star on the side of his helmet for my Dallas Cowboys. I love Michael Irvin like a father figure. Get out of here with that, Courtney Joe. I'm talking about no Dallas Cowboys. It's Dolphins all day up in here, man. I want to hear all that. All right. Yeah, and I will do a follow-up on Asad Wasim. Actually, I spoke to his father yesterday. So I'll do a follow-up on Asad Wasim after the spring game, and we'll see what's up. Maybe we can get him on for an interview and see how he's doing on his first year there. In that case, Butterfly 88. Hi, Coach. What's going on, Butterfly? All right, let's get into this deal, and let's talk about it. So there was a lot of I guess Coach Prime says things. You know, he has the social media. His son with Well Off Media. He also has the pregame show with Uncle Neely. I found out who that was through you guys, so I appreciate that. Follow him around. And one of the latest things at the start of spring football was players were getting blank jerseys, and they had to earn their jersey number, all right, through their practice play. And it wasn't really clear. I want to be honest with you. It wasn't really clear on the criteria for what it was, but just the overview was, hey, man, practice hard, come to play, be on time, just the basic things that you need to do in order to earn that number. And Coach Prime has now issued the first one to Jimmy Horn Jr., who all know is the transfer out of University of South Florida. And he's lighting it up out there, man. He talks about Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback right now at Colorado, and how their chemistry is working out. He was talking about, man, this dude puts the ball on point and everything else. Now, the pregame show, I watched this earlier. They had a very good show, I think, today about Jimmy Horn, and it was talking about him. He said, man, you know what, bro? You're always the last one to leave. And Jimmy Horn said, Coach, I'm on a mission, man. I got to have it. You understand? So there it is. It's very interesting to find out what's going on. So we'll definitely chop it up. I appreciate everybody. We'll turn in these phone lines here, and we'll pop them up here, 862-799-9956. Let me know your thoughts. Here are a few questions that you may want to answer as you come on in to the phone line. As you know, you'll be put into a queue. I will call out the last 4 digits of your phone number, and that'll let you know I'm coming to you. But back to Gemini's first question. Who should be next? I don't know if I don't know if it's necessarily position based more than it is player specific, right? Cool. But the interesting question Jimmy Jam asked was, the question is, will it be a new great tradition, or will it start turning players off and implode? That is interesting. When you do things like this, we know these guys today, I don't know if they Gen Zs or whatever they are today, they're real finicky about stuff. So if they don't like it, they might hit the road, and that's what it is. So we'll definitely find out. We'll definitely see what the deal is when it comes to that. As I say, phone line is open, 862-799-9956. You're more than welcome to go ahead and call in, and let's chop it up in regards to your thoughts on this. Also, I would love to hear more about these practices. Now, I know Coach Prime has let the media in to the practice, see how they're doing. Coach Sean Lewis is the offensive coordinator there, who is the former head coach at Kent State. And Charles Kelly is the defensive coordinator coming from Alabama. He was at Florida State and so forth, has a long resume. So it'll be very interesting to find out how this thing is going to work. We already know that they sold out the spring game. I think it holds 30-something. Is it 30? 50-something thousand people, excuse me. And like I said, it'll be real interesting to find out. Gemini, I appreciate you. He says, can a female call first, please? I would love to hear that, because I would love to hear their point of view. I know we have Sheila from Colorado. She typically calls in and so forth and so on. And we're just having fun with it, talking about things, trying to expand this platform to a lot of different things. You know, we're definitely going to have a lot of fun with this coming up here in year 3. Coach Hayes Football has turned 3 years old on the 4th, which was actually on Tuesday. But anyhow, as I wait for callers to call in, you're more than welcome. But Coach Sanders, I guess, has kind of stirred the pot a little bit, and he's becoming the right word, or the new trigger word or buzzword is a disruptor. He's becoming a disruptor in college football. And, my whole focus when I bring these lives is kind of bring things from a coach's perspective to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit so people can understand exactly how some things work. And what he's doing, I've said this before and I'll say this again, he is actually changing recruiting dynamics. I don't know if people understand that. And I brought this up, and I know my man Reggie, who always follows this and called in, you're starting to see programs use social media. You're starting to see these programs use social media, and they're using social media to do kind of mimic what Prime is doing. You got to give people an insight onto what's going on inside the program. I'm telling you, this is becoming a new way, learning how to use social media, how to become your own brand, all of these type of things. And that is something Coach Prime is doing well. Also, big shout out to the specialists. If y'all don't know what specialists are, Specialists are the kicking unit, the punting team, the long snappers. He gave them a lot of praise. I believe Alejandro Mata, if I'm not mistaken, if that's how you say his name, transferred from Jackson State over to Colorado, and he's been doing a great job with that. Got a first call in. I see my man Gemini. I love it, man. Talk to me, Gemini. What's going on, baby?
What's good, Coach? I was trying not to be the first one, but you said something that made me call in.
Uh-oh, what did I say? Am I in trouble, or do you agree with it?
I disagree because you said disruptor.
Okay.
Now, just like when we brought up the head coaches either being lazy or being on point yesterday, just because somebody does something differently than you, not necessarily that person is doing it wrong. The outlook, the ending is going to be the same, but they took a different path. For some coaches, they do not want all their business all out there in the street. There are some people that don't have nothing to hide, regardless on if it's good or if it's bad. So a lot of coaches do not want to put themselves out there like he has done. He did it with the high school team. He did it when he got to Jackson, even though it was a break in the because of COVID and everything. When they came back, he made sure his sons had everything they needed so then they could hit it blazing. No, full, no stops, no chaser.
Okay.
So what did that also help him with along his path? You said you don't like recruiting. Well, it helped him with recruiting. They know what they was going to be involved in. They seen what type of practices he was doing. They seen what type of obstacles they was going to face. Weight room, how he was going class to class talking to the professors, seeing the progress of the players, because a lot of players had to be either set down for a game or did not play because of academics.
Okay. Oh, okay. So let me stop you
What?
there because you said a mouthful, and I kind of want to answer something of what you said. So when I used the word disruptor,
Not a problem.
it wasn't a negative. It actually was a positive. I was saying a disruptor meaning changing the status quo, changing the way things are typically done in recruiting. Like I said, I didn't use it as a negative. I meant it solely as a positive, meaning he is now changing the way in which it's done. The same way the landing of the helicopters in the practice fields, the same way you see people use different tactics now, where how recruiting recruiting is the lifeblood of college football, and I understand that. Second is, when I say I don't like recruiting, I'm talking about so far as, I guess, reporting on it on the show, because it's so fluid. I totally understand what recruiting is. I totally understand uh, how important it is. I totally understand that. I was just, when I said so far as I don't like recruiting, I meant so far as coming on here or trying to, call on the phone and, hey, did you talk to Gemini? Is he coming to Colorado first? Like, those are the type of things, man, I'm talking about recruiting. I'm not saying I don't like recruiting for what it is. I definitely understand its power, and that's how you become a powerhouse, by recruiting top-notch players. I was just saying how you see, I just saw Penn State, you saw Oregon and Florida State do it the previous year. Now we're at the point where we're singing happy birthday to players, like Kamani McLean, Florida State. And it's not a shot at Florida State. It's just they did it. They out there buying full cakes.
Right.
Happy birthday. And Florida State not even in their top 5 or top 10. And we think that you buying a dude a My Little Pony cake is going to change his mind to come to Florida State. I'm just talking about all of the antics that go with it because of social media and so forth.
I get that part, because just like the Nebraska coach was the main one that jumped on the radio and social media and said, "Oh, I will not have a camera Now, if I'm lying, correct me.
No,
I
I heard
not
it.
have a camera because it is about the team. It is not about me. Well, if you look at the film, it's not really about Prime unless he's celebrating a player or play, or he's celebrating, or telling his players what they're doing wrong or what he want them to do or subbing them out for a play or something like that. It is about the team regardless, but he was the main one that said he would not have cameras. What he did last week, coach, and put it on social media 4 days in a row.
What did he put? He put that stuff on camera, right?
Yeah, he
And
ran and put it on camera.
and
Then
that
turned the
and,
comments off.
but that's my point. When I say a
Him,
disruptor, meaning a disruptor simply meaning he's changing it. You're disrupting the way and things naturally go. Some people want to fight it. You're starting to see even Nick Saban doing it, right? As great. And that's one thing I always give Nick Saban credit to. Even though he may be an old school dude, he understands that he has to change and adapt with the times. And those are the type of things that are happening. And that's what I mean when I said disruptor. He's the guy that's kind of, and to Derek's point where he set up there, disruptor as in a trailblazer, I guess. And exactly right. That's exactly what he meant in that sense. I got some more callers calling in. I just saw somebody came in and they went out. So you're more than welcome to call back in. So I'm going to get these last 2 minutes to you, man. Let's go ahead and chop it up. And then, like I said, we'll go ahead and then I'll get the next callers in.
all right. Can I ask one thing before we can I use these 10 seconds just to say one thing, coach?
Sure, do your thing, man.
Man, please leave JSU where they at. It's enough hate already that the man left. Please leave JSU alone. We have TC now, man. Please leave them people alone.
While people are talking about it.
Mr. White brought them up, so I'm just saying honestly. I have 3 generations that went through JSU. Please leave them people alone. They hurt already. The man gone now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's
So
gone. I mean, it's gone. It's done. Like I say, some people still heard about it, and that's one thing about social media and these platforms. People get a chance to continue to voice their opinion. But hopefully, for the chat, some people saying they were lost. Hopefully, it kind of cleared that up. So, let me get a thumbs up if I kind of cleared up what I said, and so far as being a disruptor, because they were like, "I'm lost. I don't know what you mean." But anyhow, shout out to Brother Jay Blaze, but go ahead, man. Finish your points today, and I'm gonna move. I had to move on to the other callers.
right now, I'm waiting to see what the 3 linebackers are going to look like. The middle, and the weak side and the strong side in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm waiting to see if they're going to bring in one power back, an actual power back. They do have one that's coming off an injury, but I'm really concerned about their linebacker core. That's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah, it's not. I haven't seen a lot of talk about defense in that sense, but no, you're 100% right. But Gemini, man, I appreciate you. You always got my back. You don't let Coach sit up here and drown like everybody else. I don't know where these ladies at, but we got to get them in the building because they love some. Listen, they love some Coach. I'm sorry, some Coach Prime. There was somebody left a comment. I swear to God, it had to be this long in my thing about because I called him Deion Sanders and not Coach Prime. And I disrespected him because I want to be called Coach, so I don't call him Coach Prime. So, I mean, Jesus Christ.
Well, as I'm going to name them Deion, I'm going to call him Deion.
I feel you, man. I appreciate it. I'm coming to 7476 next. I see you, Google man, back there. You coming in right after 7476. Appreciate you, Gemini. Thanks, buddy. All right, big call, man. Big shout out. 7476 coming to you. I see you, Gemini. I'm sorry. I see you, Google man. Coming to you next. All right, 7476. Talk to us. You live. What's your thoughts on Jimmy Horn getting the first number 5, or anything else?
Yeah, Coach. This Coach Drake from Gainesville. I mean, when you watch the pregame show, when you see the man say, "Hey, Jimmy, you always the last person here," and I hear he usually the first person there. I knew he was gonna give a number to a guy that had either been at Colorado or a guy that just got there. You couldn't give it to Shador first. You couldn't give it to Travis. You couldn't give it to Cam. You couldn't give it to none of your guys because you got to try to build a camaraderie. So I feel like that was a great move for him, and Jimmy had worked for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think a Colorado guy will be next, like a Van Wells, the running back Hankerson from down here in Florida. I think one of those guys would be next. Somebody that was on the team last year, because the guys that he brought, like we know Shador getting 2, we know Travis getting 12. I think Kamani gonna end up wearing 1, because I think Cam gonna wear 7, or he gonna talk Cam into wearing 7, because what people don't know is that Cam wore 12 at Jackson before Travis got there, and then Cam went to 7 after Travis said he was coming to Jackson State. So it's still, it's a way to work around it. But I just think Coach playing chess with it instead of checkers, because if you give Jackson State guys their numbers first, you'll hear people say, "Oh, you see, he playing favorites. He got favorites," or whatever people like to say. But from what I'm seeing in their practices, they look like they're working hard. They're gonna have to go get, like the man say, the linebacker spot look a little slim. I ain't gonna say it looks slack. It just look a little slim. I think they need some more linebackers. But besides that, I just think they working real good, Coach.
No, that's good, man. Like I say, spring ball is coming along. Like I say, you see them out there motivating the guys, and they film. We say everything, but they don't film everything. There's some things you definitely don't see on there. As I look at it from a coach's lens, you don't get down to the nitty gritty, which of course it's recorded because they record everything, but it has not been publicized so far as put out there.
Yeah, they don't put out, ain't like they put out the depth chart or nothing like that. So I think they good.
Right, man. I appreciate you, man. You keep coaching them boys up, man. I'll be checking y'all out, man.
All right. Hey, you can go to my boy Twitter, Antonio Wilson. I think he got his huddle up. Just hit me up and tell me what you think.
All right. He's a 24 kid?
Yeah, he's a 24 kid. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, we dropping the first one. If I get it edited, if not, it'll be first thing in the morning, man. We starting off with Aaron Nolan, so we're going to get that in the going.
Okay, bro.
All right. Thanks, man. All right, we coming to Google Man next, man. Google Man. Y'all go ahead and call on in. Google Man, you live. Talk to us. Club Shay Shay. Don't be scared to call in. We need the ladies on the line. Google Man, what's up with you, baby?
Man, I think old boy earned it. He earned his jersey number.
Okay.
Come out?
Yeah.
He earned it. So it is what it is. I like what Deion Sanders is doing. I told you I had a dream. Like Martin Luther King. I had a dream I was in a facility. Coach, most dreams I have, it'd be like, I'd be watching something, I fall asleep, and I'm watching something, I might have a dream about what I watched. I think I watched Deion Sanders, like, when he be having his son, like on YouTube, I'll be watching YouTube a lot. And so I've been watching Deion Sanders like the last 2 months in Colorado. I fell asleep and I had a dream of playing for Colorado.
You was playing for Colorado, Google Man?
I told you about that dream already, didn't I?
I think you told me about you was a running back or something. Tell me again.
Yeah. Okay. Old boy for Power was coaching. The dude named Ghost. He was coaching. And I think Charles and White was in there too. And I can't stand Charles and White.
Ghost.
And Charles and White gonna get beat up, I think. Probably by me.
Hold on, Google Man. Did you say Ghost from Power was coaching you?
Yeah, he was one of those position coaches on the team. He wasn't coaching me, but he was on the coaching staff. Cause he played football at Georgia, and then he played NFL for like, you know how some dudes play in NFL for like a year or two, and then they move on. But he played football at Georgia. And so that's why, man, I swear to God, man, I know everything. So he played football at Georgia, and he been talking about his career at Georgia. So, and I think I must have seen him on it. I think I seen him on a pivot.
Okay.
So all that shit I guess it got tied together, and I be watching. Now I don't watch Charles and White. I can't stand that fool. Anytime I see him on the thumbnail, I'll watch him.
Okay.
He be on the
Uh-huh.
Yeah, man. Charles White on the scene, tripping. I had a dream. I was in Colorado.
All right,
Playing tailback.
All right, tailback. All right, I got a question for you. Since nobody else called in, we're gonna ride out just a little bit till we get our next caller. Let me ask you a quick question, Google man. I saw that. Well, let me go back and ask you this. What do you think the record prediction, what's your record prediction for Colorado this year, knowing that they arguably have either the hardest or the second hardest schedule in the Pac-12?
Yeah, I said already. If he wins 6 games, that's gonna be great because I can tell that their schedule's gonna be hard because they gotta play Utah, USC, UCLA, and then they play TCU out the gate. So those 4 teams right there, those 4 losses right there off the muscle. Now, if he beat any one of them teams, hey man, we're gonna party. I'm gonna party for Deion Sanders.
I feel you, man. Real quick, because I did see we got another call in, but I did see where, if I'm not mistaken, I did see where I don't know if he said this, but it was a headline. You know, headlines can be tricky, but I think people are okay if he goes 6-6 is like, all right, we on par, we making some noise, because I think Mel Tucker was there that one year and he ended up going, I want to say 5-7, which was probably the highest record they've had in the past 20 years, if I'm not mistaken, so far as the best record they've had. So I think 6-6 would be a great jump, man. But anyway, I appreciate it, man. Well, let me go to get to this next dude. I got to slap him up. I already know who this is, man. What's up?
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man. Don't be coming on here talking about no doggone Dallas Cowboys, man. Get out of here with that crap, man. Nobody want to talk about no.
Hey, man. Hey, that's what it is.
Man, nobody would talk about, man. Matter of fact, I got to slap that, man. Get out of here with that crap, man.
I knew it coming.
All right, appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. All right, coming to 7021. I know I got to jack this cat up. I already know who this is, I believe. Call her, talk to her. She live.
You're right, Coach. Don't nobody want to hear about the Cowboys, but they do want to hear that Roll Tide, Coach. That's what they want to hear.
No, you know what they want to hear? This is what they want to hear.
Congratulations.
And guess what? And just all the fans know, because they want to know why I call in. Because just like you pointed out, Coach, how we go in and we steal Miami players, we finna steal you too, Coach. We finna turn the Coach Hayes podcast into Alabama podcast. Coming soon. Coach Hayes finna have a Roll Tide shirt on. Real stuff.
Yeah, you finished with all of that foolishness you talking?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready to get over the point, Coach.
All right, man. I'm just messing with you. Hey, you hit me up the other day, didn't you? I think you say you follow me on the thing.
Yes, sir.
All right. I think I responded.
Don't
I responded.
Get on my Twitter though, because that's my coaching Twitter. So I gotta keep that professional.
Oh, I'm finna go live on that then. You shouldn't have told me that. Oh, I'm finna troll you. Listen, I'm finna troll you to death, boy.
I don't want to lose no player, Coach. I don't want to lose no player.
And listen, I think I'm pretty good with Photoshop. I'm finna Photoshop you. I'm finna Photoshop you in a Miami Hurricane jersey. That's what I'm finna Photoshop you in.
Hey, no, nah, Coach.
It's gonna say, your shirt gonna say Bama who? Man, Bama you. That's what it's gonna say. Anyway, talk to me, man. What's your thoughts, brother? Go ahead, man.
But just about the whole. I guess it's a little bit about the Jimmy Horn situation in the number first. I think that was a great move by Deion. Does his son have a number?
Say it again. Does who?
Does Shador have a number?
No one else. Jimmy Horn is the first one to actually be officially issued the number. I mean, I think everybody knows that his son will have 2. Shador will have 2. I think Shiloh will get 21. I think that we already know, but they have not officially been issued that number yet.
Yeah, I mean that's a great move. That's a great move by Coach. Just really looking for the leaders and really saying, I'm gonna give, even though people know, that kind of sets like Shador and Shiloh, they'll get the number that they need. That kind of sets the standard. Like, you come in here and work, you're gonna be able to get a number. I didn't watch much UCF games, but I've heard a lot about him. Just from Shador talking about him. I think he had an interview about being the fastest guy on the team and stuff. So man, I mean, that's just a great move by Deion there. And I think because Deion he is a follower of Christ. I'm rooting for him to have a successful season. And I think he can. I think he can. I think he can just with what the Pac-12 is, because the Pac-12 is so wishy-washy. After you get done with the Utahs and the USCs, you really don't know how it's gonna shake up. I mean, you could say Oregon, but Oregon was one of those teams that was wishy-washy. They get blown out of the water by Georgia last year. Then they go on this crazy run, and then they end up losing. I forgot who. I think they lost to like Utah, something crazy like that, and getting bounced out of that Pac-12 picture. So who knows what Colorado's going to do this year? We know they have a lot of talent, and I kind of turn that wagon around. What Shedeur is a good quarterback, and I think if you got a good quarterback, and let's say that he's top three quarterback in the conference next year, then you could have a successful team. You know what I'm saying? You could have, even though these games look hard now, but there's some teams last year that we were talking, they might only TCU one of them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Colorado's in a nice weak conference. They don't got a lot at the top. I think even Utah is losing a lot. If Colorado can come in and be that TCU team that surprises, I don't want to say they're going to go to a national championship, but I'll say they're going to beat some teams that you're going to be like, dang, I had them marked down to lose to this team. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm gonna ask you a quick question. Let me ask you. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Let me ask you this quick question. They got a tough month of September. All right. They start off with TCU. They have Nebraska, Colorado State, Oregon, and USC. That's the whole month of September. Out of those 5 games, what do you predict the record will be? And the reason I ask you that, because again, TCU's coming back from the Natty, right? That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a blowout. Who knows what they have coming back? But I still think they. I believe Colorado will definitely become the underdog in that game. Nebraska has not been very good for a long time, but they have players, whatever the case may be. We'll find out what Matt Rule can do coming off of the Carolina Panthers, coming back into college, which I think he's a better college coach by far than he is an NFL coach. Colorado State has been down a little bit. And then Oregon, of course, with Dan Lanning there coming out of Georgia, who put up a pretty good season last year as a first-year head coach, and then USC with Lincoln Riley and his powerhouse and the Heisman Trophy winner. Out of those 5 games, what do you think the record is in the month of September? Because that's huge right there. That's the opening month.
Okay, and I know the comment section might get on to me for saying that. So I think there's two for sure wins there, 2 for sure losses. Just from looking at what I think the town at Colorado will be, I think the 2 for sure wins, right, are Colorado State and Nebraska. I do think Coach Prime will get those wins. And then I think the 2 for sure losses, in my opinion, right, is the Oregon and USC's. I think the TCU game, Sonny Dykes got a lot of Gary Patterson's players. He got a lot of Gary Patterson's players. Sonny Dykes still has to prove something, I feel. And I feel some of the college football fans out there feel. He has to prove something in that coaching market. And if Dion can somehow, because is he playing TCU at their house or at his house?
I believe they're playing at TCU, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, TCU.
Okay. If Colorado can go out there and somehow pull off because this is football coaching, and I know you've been coaching for a long time. You've probably been beat by some teams that you didn't think had a chance, and you probably beat some teams you didn't think you had a chance against.
Mm-hmm.
If Colorado can come out there and get that TCU win, then we're going to the Oregon game looking different because football is such a game of momentum.
That's true.
It's such a game of momentum.
That's true.
Like Oregon last year, they was really off, right? They lost to Georgia, they lost their momentum. Then they start picking up momentum, picking up teams. Utah, perfect example, beat USC in a game that I didn't think they were going to win, and they beat them twice because they just had the momentum. If Colorado can somehow sneak in there and get a win on TCU, then I will say, okay, maybe they can go in here and beat this Oregon. Maybe they can go in here and beat this USC. But I think everything is going to kind of live and down. What is the TCU game going to be? Because I think that is the best. Now, those first 5 games, that is the best chance. Right now, I'm going to say 2-3 in those first 5. But I will say, I do think they have the talent to beat TCU. I think they can because they have brought in some talent. And from what I see, and I don't know if you are a big follower of Coach Chaney. I'm a big follower of Coach Chaney on TikTok. You know, and from what I see in that organization, what Colorado and what Deion Sanders is trying to do, I think it could be a fun game.
You talking about Coach James Chaney, that was the head coach down at Lehigh in Naples?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. No, so to your point, I can agree with that. TCU, I think for the month of September, I'm only speaking about the games in the month of September, but I do think TCU, depending on how they play, which I have to be very honest, I think it's going to be a little rough just because of the chemistry. I don't think this has anything to do with TCU. I think it's going to have more to do with Colorado, right? It's a whole bunch of newness there, right? And yeah, I get it, but it's a whole bunch of newness in that deal. And I think the second half of the Colorado TCU game will be better than the first half, if I'm not mistaken. Just because, you know, again, Sonny Dykes, and I know you say he played with Gary Patterson's players, but I have to give Sonny Dykes credit. He didn't wreck the Ferrari. He actually enhanced the Ferrari. So, you know, I always hear coaches when they say, oh, he played with somebody else's players. Well, they probably all recruiting the same type of guys, but to Sonny Dykes' credit, he didn't wreck the car, right? He didn't wreck it.
Yeah.
And so you have to give him some credit. And again, I'm not saying you didn't, but I'm saying to the fan base and to people, you have to give a coach credit that comes in and says, you know what? Philosophy here is good. It's stable. Let me not come in here and just, just bulldoze this thing down and kind of create like a shock to everybody. Let me ease my way or funnel my philosophy through these guys and see how we can do it. And so I think Sonny Dykes took a proper approach to a guy who's been at TCU for quite some time, who has established a culture, has established a program that's won, again, they're not national championship winners, but they've won some games, put some people to sleep, and I think he just enhanced it. You know what I mean? It's kind of like putting some Laurie season salt. You know what I mean? It's good, but if I put that Laurie's on there, baby, it's going to be better, if that makes sense. Now, how they play in that will carry over to Nebraska. I have to be honest. I think if they play well, whether it's a win or loss, but if they play well and play competitive, Nebraska may have some problems on their hand. If they come out, if they come out and play flat and all over the place, Nebraska may have an edge up. I don't know. I don't know. Nebraska is a toss-up game for me in that sense. Colorado State, I think they should win that game. But if they could beat TCU, Nebraska, and then Colorado State, you talking about the Oregon game going to be rocking in Eugene, Oregon?
Yeah,
boy, that's going to be nuts, boy.
Yeah, and it's all gonna live. Because just like I said, I think Shedeur might be that guy, and I think we could be if Shedeur proves he's that guy, like his dad thought, and like a lot of people think, and he's a first round guy that we're talking about next year. Colorado will have 6-8, or will have 7-8 wins. I think 6 wins is what most of us are settling on because we believe in Deion. But if Shedeur is that guy, I think it's gonna be 7-8 wins for Colorado. I don't know where those wins are gonna come from, but I do think it'll be 7-8 wins.
Let me ask you a question. Arizona State, like I said, nobody else called in, so we're gonna ride out. Hey, listen, this is why I tell you, sometimes you got to keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. Huh? And I'm talking to my man. What's your name? Would you go by Laker, right? Isn't it Lakers something?
Yeah, Lakers.
Every time I hear you, I keep slapping you when you say it, so I can't ever hear it. But anyway, look at this guy. He all over the place. He a Bama fan, Lakers this, that. Man, where are you from? Where do you live?
I'm from Alabama, but Alabama don't got no pro team. So I grew up a Lakers fan in basketball, but I cheer for all the Philadelphia teams. So baseball, hockey, football, all the pro teams in Philadelphia, I cheer for them. But Alabama don't got no pro teams. But anything college, it's that Roll Tide. It's that Roll Tide, coach, and you already know. College basketball, gymnastics, softball, baseball, golf, rugby, anything, it's that Roll Tide, Coach.
Listen, some people you just can't fix, y'all. I'm talking to the chat. Some people you just can't help them. You try your best. You try to show them that, look, it's dangerous over there. They don't care. These are what you call red stove people. They got to touch the red hot stove to believe it's hot. But as you know, these Bamas keep touching the stove because they say, Coach, I got 10 chances to touch the stove. That only burned my index finger. What about my middle finger? They don't use logic. They don't use reasoning. What about my ring finger, Coach? What about my pinky finger? What about my thumb? And then they do it all again with their left hand. So some people you just can't fix in life. I understand. But anyway, I'm just messing with you, man. Let me ask you this as I get the next call in. Let me throw the 2 minutes up. Uh-oh. Am I all over the place? Okay. Yeah, let me get the 2 minutes up on here. We got another call in, 6701. Hold tight for me. We're going to get to you. Shedeur Sanders. I broke down his tape when he committed to Jackson State. I saw what he could do. I thought he played extremely well. I firmly believe he has the skills to play quarterback. There's been a lot of question in regards to him playing at this bigger or higher level. Do you think he can dominate this level, this Pac-12, especially his play? You just said it. His play in the month of September is going to be crucial to the success of this program. Does he have it, or can he just play extremely well?
This is what I think. This is what I think about Shedeur. I think he has the chance to have it. Where I think he proved himself at Jackson State. Right, he had those 2 years at Jackson State to get ready, and I think he is ready now to be a starter in the Pac-12 against the schedule that he is against. And I think he can be one of those guys that we're talking about in the first round next year. And I do feel like he's talented. And what really sold me on him was watching interviews. That's how confident he is away from his dad. Like he exudes a lot of Dion. Like you might say, oh, he was only in the swag, he was only doing this, he was only doing that. But he's so confident. At the end of the day, that's what you look for in a quarterback. I don't care how big my quarterback's arm is, this and the other. I need the confidence. The year before last with Bryce Young, there were some games we should have lost, right? When we lost to Georgia, when we played Tennessee, when we played Arkansas, we played Auburn, we played Georgia in the SEC championship. But I remember saying this, and I told this to everybody about Bryce Young. He did not care about the moment. He was the same guy on and off. Every single moment when we had our backs against the wall, he was the same guy. And if Shedeur can be the same guy, that confident guy, no matter the moment, it'll be scary.
Well, I love it, man. Like I say, it'll be very interesting to find out the way him and the OC, Sean Lewis, work well together. And when I say it, right, because I see CJK talking about the trenches. I'm coming to you right now, 6701. But it affects the trenches as well. Can he check down to the run when need be? Can he check here? Like those are the things when I talk about the it factor, the X factor, the intangibles, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Last point, Coach.
Yeah.
That's where the confidence goes back. Because just like I said, the year before last, Bryce, we did not have a good offensive line. We did not. And Bryce Young, he was the same confident guy that believed in himself. He never got too high, he never got too low. And we did not have a good offensive line, right? And there was a lot of games, and I knew what was coming the year before last because we weren't finishing games in the second half because we felt like, oh, this was an overconfident team. So if Shedeur can be that guy, no matter what the trenches are, I mean, they can't be horrible, obviously, but if Shedeur is that guy that doesn't get too high, too low, and just says, I'm talented, I can go win games, I think that had a lot to do with it. Look at Joe Burrow on the Bengals. He not LSU, but
about
on the
to crash this plane. Jeez, these Alabama people just, my God, just always want to take over.
Hey, Coach, thanks for letting me call in. God bless you. May you Christ be. followers, and just thank you for always letting me call in.
Nah, man, you good, man. You know I love you, man. I appreciate you, man, as always, man. I really do. Thank you, man, for calling in. We always like to have fun and we trash talk, man. But I appreciate you, man, as always. And I'm gonna give you this on the way out the door and go put your 10-4 hat on, man. So here you go. Go put your 10-4 hat on and get up out of here, man. 6701 coming to you next, man. Y'all appreciate it. All right, you live, 6701. Talk to us.
Hey, Coach. It's Club Shay Shay.
Club Shay Shay. What's going on? I'm so glad. I enjoy when the ladies call. I want to hear this.
Oh, no. I'm just calling to say, to bring it back to the initial discussion of Jimmy Horn.
Okay.
I think he deserved his number.
Why?
That's it. In the story, he deserved it. I think he works pretty hard. I think also he wasn't. I think he's going to be used as like a motivation for the other players to step up and grind harder and work harder and just want more like he does.
All right. So and that's a good point, right? So that is a good point. And as coaches, we all have plans. We all have plans to do certain things, so forth and so on. I totally understand. And there was a very interesting point that I forget who brought it up earlier, but they brought up the point about, will this become a tradition at Colorado, or will this be something that players kind of be like, and it kind of gets tiring, it gets old?
I think he's doing it to bring them up to the level that they need to be at now. I don't think that team is where Coach Prime wants it to be. So he's pulling out every little thing that he can probably think of to get these guys that want it more than what he's seen. So I don't think it's going to be a tradition. I think this is just what this team. Now, when he gets a few more dogs in there, maybe in the fall or in whatever, I don't know all the season, all that stuff like that. But whenever, then he won't need to do that.
No, I totally understand.
But right now, he needs to do it. He needs to make this team become the dog team that he's, wanting to have.
All right, I'm gonna check
and
your.
Right now,
I'm gonna check your knowledge out. Who do you think gets the number next? Who's the next person you think they call out and be like, okay, he giving a number?
I think, and you know what? And I want to also say that I don't think that. Hey, is that the plane landing on me? What is that?
It surely was. Put your seatbelt on.
I think the next number is going to come for O-line, and also I don't think that Coach Prime is the one who gave out the number. It was like maybe a decision amongst the coaches because his coach, what is it, Brett, whatever.
Nick Williams, the defensive end coach, spoke about it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's the one that decided that Jimmy was ready for it. But he also said basically Jimmy had to work for it or continue to, so he won't lose it.
I love it. Well, I appreciate it, Club Shay Shay. We got I got my man Life in Football on the line, so we definitely gonna chop it over here.
Oh yeah, you got other callers and you putting me off? What the?
Nah,
okay,
well, hey, hold up. The lady has spoken. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna put you off because Coach a little soft. So I'm not gonna put you off. I'm gonna actually add Life in Football in. So there it is. Life in Football. Talk to us, baby. You live with Coach Hayes.
What's happening?
And Club Shay Shay. We all in the building together. See how I fixed that, y'all?
Club Shay Shay, what's up? What's up, Club Shay Shay in the building? Hey.
What's up, man?
I like that. We at your club. We at your club right now.
It's a party. So talk to us, Life. Well, what's going on, man? I know you got your show coming up here at 9:00. I'm jumping off. So we sending everybody over there to you. I'm not sure if Ellen, the producer's in the building. If you don't mind, throw that link up there so people can go check out his channel. But what's your thoughts on Jimmy Horn earning this thing? Well, I'm here with my co-host, Club Shay Shay. So what's your thoughts here?
I like it.
I'm trying to tell you, we're
I
gonna
like
cut a
it.
deal.
I like it, man. I like that my boy put in that work on and off the field. He AKA he like a prime junior as well, because my boy say he gonna go for 1,200 easy. Then he say he want to be an All-American, All Pac-12. My boy basically want first round. So he acting like a first round wide receiver. He supposed to get that number first. That's that dog in him. That's that Central Florida dog in that boy. You know about it because you right there by him.
That's right.
So here's my question.
And guess what?
Go ahead.
And on top of that, after he ball out, you know when he come home for the break, he going to Club Shay Shay. So it's going down.
Drinks on the owner. Drinks are on the owner. Everybody drinking the
Exactly.
Kool-Aid. Everybody drinking the Kool-Aid. So anyway, let me ask you this. Then. Who do you think? I asked Club. I asked Shay Shay what she thought. Who do you think the next person to earn their number? So I know you follow them every day. You drop videos every day. Who do you think is the next person to earn their jersey number?
I heard Club Shay Shay say an old lineman. I could almost get down with that. Excuse me. Forgive me for that. But what my main thoughts is, I believe a Colorado player should be next. I can't force him to do it, but just for it to look good in the locker room, you know your JSU boys, they gonna get their numbers point blank. So you done gave it to a transfer that dominated. Now give it to a Colorado guy who dominated, because I know for a fact it got to be somebody on that Colorado team who holding it down, doing their thing. And somebody said on my live last night that they probably gonna go to the defensive side.
Here's an interesting point. I'm sorry, Shay Shay, you got any questions for Life in Football?
No, I watch his channel too. I can agree with that. I think it's a D lineman. It could be a D lineman or O lineman. I agree, but I don't want it to be a Colorado. I don't want it to be just because. I want it to be because they actually working for it.
All right, here's my next question.
Which they should.
Here's my next question. Here's a wrinkle. Yeah. Here's a hypothetical.
Go ahead, throw that wrinkle.
It can't happen because he's already released a number. What would have happened if Coach Prime, because I got Lamb blasted in the comment section on a DM, rather, about calling him Dion. But anyway, what if Coach Prime held numbers until the day of the spring game? When they got into their locker, their numbers were already in the locker room. How do you think that would have affected, like, the day of the spring game when people are getting ready, the day of, when, of course, the equipment managers put all the numbers out, and 5 is hanging in Jimmy Horn's locker, 2 is in Shador's locker, 21 is in Shiloh, whatever the case may be. Everybody found out what their number was at the same time based on the evaluation of all of spring practice versus doing them kind of one at a time, or maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, however that may work as they get closer to the spring game. Do you think that would have hit a little different, or do you think it's better doing it the way he's doing it now?
Now that right there on game day, if you pull it out on game day and I don't like my number, you might have an eruption on that day. So you don't want to play on that day. You want to be smooth sailing. So give me my number before that time. If you gonna give me a raggedy 43, get that to me early so I can ask you, Coach, what's up? What I did to do wrong to get that number?
Do you have to ask yourself what you do? Do you really think you got to ask Coach Prime what you did wrong if you got number 43 and you a doggone wide receiver?
Well, and now why I ain't gonna ask? I already know he's trying to kick me off the squad with 43 at wide receiver. But if you get into that DB, I gotta ask him, like, well, Coach, why I couldn't get 34 or something, but not 43?
Hey, real quick, Shay, let me ask you a question. From I love this. What do you think is the ugliest number on between the 0 and 99? What's the ugliest number out there?
Like
when you look at a jersey, you be like, golly, that stink.
I don't like 0, man.
Go ahead, Shay. What'd you say?
I don't like 0.
Number. He doesn't like 0.
Okay, you say you didn't like. What can you say? You say you don't like what number?
The larger numbers, like 88, 89.
No, you got to pick one. Like when you see that one number, you be like, God, that's a stunk.
67.
Okay, usually gonna be an O-line number. All right, look at that. Some people saying 13, 71, 000, and you say you don't like 0. Why don't you like 0? Like,
I don't know why they brought that out. And when all the boys went to liking that number, it threw me off because it didn't make no sense. Like 0, who go around and say, hey, dog, I want 0. Hey, let me get that 0, boy.
I ain't gonna lie, dog. At the crib,
like,
listen.
And you got to think, most of our time through Little League football, all the way to college. You ain't never seen zero but on 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. You ain't never see the zero just sitting by itself. It just look crazy.
So I have to say this. In Little League, in Pop Warner,
they think it's hard.
Yeah, but in Pop Warner, they used to have double zero. And let me tell you something, but if you had double zero when you was in, we used to call it Optimus. We didn't have Pop Warner or going, but Optimus. You had double zero, but usually it was a defensive player. That dude was thumping, boy. Listen.
See, I never seen zero ever until they brought it out like this.
I don't know, but anyway. But listen. I'm just saying, man. It's interesting. Let me see. Let me give you my stank number. I think the stankest number, and I'm gonna leave the old linemen alone because they stuck. They have to have between 50 and 79. So I don't really hold the old linemen accountable. But I think the stankest number, like skill player number out there, is like those
93.
No, those 40 numbers. Like, the 90s is cool because those D linemen, like 41, like you say, 43, 44 is cool, linebacker, but like 40, 42 is cool, but like 41, 47, like, because where do you wear that? If you're a cornerback, you definitely don't want to be in the 40s. If you're a linebacker, 47, like, and I know Michael Irvin had that at wide receiver. And I've never seen another person with it. If you're a running back, you definitely don't want to be that. And I know Kamara is 41, or he was at one time, or I don't know what his number is.
Yeah,
but no, not number 40. Yeah, 49. Like those 40 numbers look a little stank. You know what I mean?
They do. They do.
You can't be a wide receiver. You can't be a running back. You're not gonna be imagine you out there a safety with number 41 on.
Hey, real talk. Now that you got me thinking about it, hey, Charlie might get his number next and get the scholarship.
Oh, the walk-on.
Yeah.
That might be right. Ronnie Lott was 42. I say 42 is a good number. It flows, but 46.
All that.
It just look,
all that.
But anyway, listen, man, I appreciate y'all. Let me close this down. I said we was gonna do an hour. I know you about to go live. You about to go live. I'm here with my host, is Coach Hayes. We're here with Coach Hayes, Club Shay Shay, and the team with our guest, Life of Football. I'm telling you, man, hey, we got to talk, Club Shay Shay. We might have a host for this show, baby. What's going on? I'm telling you, we're going to chop it up. I don't know if you got Twitter.
In the building.
Listen, I don't know if you got.
In the building. I'm coming over to your house.
Yeah.
Might as well. Appreciate you.
So listen, I don't know if you got Twitter or not, Club Shay Shay. Hit me on the DM and Twitter. And I'm telling you, I've been always looking for a woman co-host. Forget Joy Taylor, not in a negative way. I'm saying we got to get our own. You understand me? So we're gonna bring it to the people. But anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go on the back end. I'm gonna close this down. I need everybody in here right now to jump over, all 112 of y'all to jump over to Life in Football, and he'll be popping on in a few seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this show out.
Appreciate you, brother.
Anytime. Appreciate y'all. Good night. Good night. All right, man. Big shout out to everybody. Thank you all again. It was our 3rd year anniversary yesterday. We did the Coach Me Coach podcast on Tuesday. And on Sunday, of course, we do our Canes Talk Live. Coming out, finish editing it up. Aaron Nolan, the top quarterback, he's going to commit on Saturday, April 8th. All right. I want to say 8:30, 8:45, if I'm not mistaken. He's going to commit. The top schools are Ohio State, University of Miami, Texas A&M, and Alabama. So we'll definitely see who is where Aaron Nolan going to land his plane, if you understand what I'm saying. So like I say, with all that being said, I appreciate everybody. Thank you all. Join the team today. It costs you absolutely nothing. They're free. Hit the subscribe button, man. We're going to have a lot of fun on this channel. Thank you, everybody that stopped by, and I appreciate the content. Don't miss out. Have fun. God bless. And Coach Hayes will catch you at the 50-yard line. Peace.